You're listening to the Weekend Sport Podcast with Jason Pine from News Talk ZB.
To France, though, James McOnie in his regular Sunday slot. He's been doing some outstanding work for NZR Plus. If you haven't checked that out, get on that platform and see some of James's work and the other great content that's being presented there. Great to have you on the show as always, James. Can we start with Samoa? Almost pulling off another historic Rugby World Cup shock. Not to be. England scraping home 18-17. Did you catch that game?
Yeah, I did. What a pulsating game, an incredible last quarter. I'm going to have to watch that again because I'm not quite sure what the hell happened. I thought Samoa could get it done as well. I thought they were robbed. There are a couple of decisions there. One TMO call where they came back for a knock-on that was far from conclusive. And then there was a box kick, the scourge of rugby, the box kick that was kicked directly out from outside the 22 that none of the officials seemed to pick up. So these are sort of some basics, really, where I really thought Samoa was hard done by, but what an effort from them.
Absolutely it was. You know, they were in front till, 5 or 6 minutes from the end. Danny Kerr with the try that was converted. But then I think Danny Kerr's biggest influence on the game was the ankle tap, because I thought Samoa were going to go down the other end and score a late try to win it.
Absolutely. I think Danny Kerr and Marcus Smith made a big difference to that England side, and I think, the coach is really going to have to say, Borthwick is going to have to say, you know what, we might actually need these guys who play more expensive, exciting rugby, because, there's some guys out there. Is it Dan Cole? How long has he been around for? He's just, he wasn't up with the pace, really, and that's what I found Samoa were just so impressive, working the England team around where they looked like they were so on the ropes. And then, of course, that last quarter, there were stoppages, possibly genuine ones, but the clock just stood still, and that played into England's hands. They're in massive trouble, but I heard that behind closed doors before, in that week leading up to the Fiji game, they actually let the reserves play as a de facto Fiji team. Borthwick said throw the ball around, and they absolutely destroyed the first 15. So maybe it's time to play like the South Pacific, because they've done it behind closed doors in practice, and maybe that's their only hope.
Absolutely. Well, we'll find out in the next day or so whether it will be Fiji who play England. It seems the most likely outcome. So, yeah, can't wait for that next Monday. Ireland against Scotland. Some people thought that Scotland might be a chance. That was quickly put to bed. How do you feel about the All Blacks taking on Ireland in a Rugby World Cup quarterfinal?
I'm okay with it. It does look like it's heading towards an Ireland-France final, really. They're the form teams. There's a few things about that Ireland performance where I just thought, that double round move that Sexton does, they run so much obstruction around that move. They use it all the time to pivot and do a lot of their plays out the back. And they've got an incredible midfield, let's be honest. Bundy Aki, Gary Ringrose, they just are so clinical. They give the ball at the right time. They're not ball hogs, when they have to truck it up, they do. But they're always looking for opportunities. So kudos to them. But really, that obstruction, I feel like our only hope is to rush up and yell out ref, and probably take a dive or run into one of those big bodies, because it is a real problem. Because as soon as they get that pattern going, they're hard to stop. But Piney, I don't know how you feel about our chances, but I think that we should be running the ball. It's the best opportunity we've got to beat them. So we have to play with a high octane bench, with DMAC, Lester Fainganuku, Dalton Papali'i. We've just got to keep on moving them around. I
absolutely and totally agree. I feel, I wouldn't say bullish about our chances, but I don't feel pessimistic. I feel optimistic about our chances. And what a game. What a game to play in. What a game to watch. It's going to take ages to get here. It's still 7 days away. But what do they say? If you want to be the best, you've got to beat the best. Ireland are the best at the moment. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm the same. I feel like this is going to be the biggest quarterfinal for some time, really. It's massive, and I guess, France, South Africa, just as big the following day. But the one good thing about New Zealand against Ireland is we've been lucky. We've played them. We played a test series against them last year. We couldn't have asked for a better look at them. It's not like, how sometimes we just play England once in a blue moon and then they rolled us at the last World Cup. We've got no excuses, really. They came down to New Zealand, did a job on us. I feel like there are still holes in that defence. The one thing I've noticed with Rugby World Cup is the short passes, they rule. Like a long pass just gets swamped by the rush defence. As soon as there's that hang time or the air time, defenders recover. But the short passes with bodies in motion just seem to be the way to go. So, let's just, let's do it. Let's keep the support play going. That's our forte. Hopefully we can actually find some space.
Hey, just before you go, did you catch that cricket the other night? It was the night for us, during the day for you up in the Northern Hemisphere. Did you get the chance to watch Devon Conway and Rachin Ravindra put together one of the greatest white ball partnerships of all time?
How epic was that? Yes, it was perfect timing here in Paris. I managed to watch it on Sky Sport now, and I really thought that Rachin, a star is born, and sort of about time, really. I remember when Ross Taylor retired, he told me he thought that Rachin should be his replacement, and he was convinced, even though the stats didn't necessarily say it at that point. He just goes, he's got the talent, yeah, he's young, but you're better off having someone like that rather than an older player who's probably got a more sort of rounded game that can sort of do okay, and survive under pressure. But then when are you going to actually get this, a potential great or excellent Blackcap who's going to play for a decade? And look, I think Devon Conway, make no mistake, he just keeps on coming up trumps. But Rachin, every shot, it was such a beautiful innings, that one, and long may it last. I know he's Kane will come back into the team, but you can't drop Rachin now. So let's see how we go. And also, just a word on Matt Henry. What a great one-day bowler he has been. He was outstanding in the last World Cup. Let's not forget that. And then even in difficult conditions, he just does the job and is just so invaluable. And I'm glad he's getting his moment in the sun, because he must have carried the drinks, Piney, more than you or I have, in our respective teams over the years.
Yeah, and that's a high bar. I can tell you that's a very high bar. All right, mate, great to catch up as always. When we speak next week, we'll either be into the semi-finals or the All Blacks will be coming home. So I hope it's the former. Have a great week, mate. We'll chat again next Sunday.
Cheers, Piney. All the best. And also just a bit of a shout out to Selala Mapusua and Tana Umanga of that Manu Samoa coaching team. I forgot to mention, I just think they built something really promising there, and hopefully it continues.
Yeah, so say all of us. Thanks, James. James McOnie in his regular Sunday slot catches content on NZR+, also as part of the ACC, the Alternative Commentary Collective, and across all of your social media as well.
For more from Weekend Sport with Jason Pine, listen live to News Talk ZB weekends from midday, or follow the podcast on iHeartRadio. Murray Deaker is back with a brand new podcast. Murray Deaker's Sporting Lives will interview legends of sport, uncovering their stories.
Devon Conway. It was a real surprise when you belted your hand into your bat and broke your hand in the T20 semi-final.
Yeah, massive learning curve, Murray. And when I made that mistake and punched my bat, it was certainly something I regretted instantly.
New episodes each week on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts. Murray Deaker's Sporting Lives, brought to you by Gold Sport.